What's up, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Chewing That Apologetics. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why Jesus is called the Firstborn and how this does not disprove his divinity or show that he's created. Yeah, let's get right into it. First, guys, excuse the hair, it's a little wet. Just got out the shower not too long ago. But let's first jump into the verse itself. What these heretics try to use in order to show that Jesus is created. They use Colossians 1:15, which says, "He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation." So they're saying, look, he's firstborn. That means that he's the first one created. But this is simply not true, right? And I can show that from the text. As a matter of fact, let's continue reading Colossians from Colossians 1:15 to 17. Again, I'll repeat. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created in the heavens and on the earth, visible things and invisible things, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things are held together. So, if he truly is the physically firstborn, if he is the first one actually physically created, well, then you would have a problem, right? You would have a contradiction in Scripture itself, just in back-to-back verses, right? Because in 16 it says, "For by him all things were created," right? But if Jesus is truly created, then that would mean that Colossians 1:16 is lying, because then that would mean that Jesus did not create all things because he didn't create himself. See, that is just self-refuting, really. Because it says that Jesus created all things, that means that Jesus can't be part of that creation because he did create everything. But anyway, let's move on to my second point, and that's that we have to understand what firstborn actually means. And it's not just physical, it's also symbolic, right? So if we go to Psalm 89, verse 27, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up for you guys. This is actually God addressing David. It says, "I will also appoint him my firstborn, the highest of the kings of the earth." Now, David was not the firstborn, okay? But what firstborn means, right, in the context of both Jesus being firstborn and David being firstborn here, it's a sign of rank, right? It's symbolic, okay? And you actually see this tied with what comes after, "I will also appoint him firstborn." Again, Psalm 89:27 says, "I will also appoint him firstborn." Now listen to this. "The highest of the kings of the earth." This is very similar to Jesus because Jesus is the firstborn, right? And he is called King of Kings in Revelation. So notice how this firstborn position is directly tied into, I guess, rank, right? Because, the firstborn, they had many things going for them, right? They were the heir, right, to their father or whatever. There was also a specific time. I don't know if this was commanded in general or if this was just a specific context, but where they would dedicate their firstborns to God. So, firstborn does have genuine symbolic role meaning, right? And that's exactly what's being addressed here to David and to Jesus, because David wasn't actually the firstborn. Jesus isn't actually the firstborn, right? First of all, just to jump in here, I know that wasn't really a great explanation of kind of the benefits that the firstborn had. Definitely look into it. Another thing is that I just want to correct this just in case there was going to be any misconceptions. The firstborn is not only symbolic. Of course, there was genuine physical meaning to it. If you were genuinely the firstborn of your family, you was called the firstborn. So I'm not saying that it's only symbolic. I'm just saying there is or can be symbolic meaning to it, right? So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was kind of short, but it's just one I feel like I wanted to make because I don't know, I feel like this was just a bad argument. It doesn't show that Jesus is created. Again, it is symbolic, okay, just like how David being called firstborn is symbolic, and also the surrounding verses around Colossians 1:15 actually show that Jesus created all things, meaning that he can't be part of creation, right? Because then that would mean that he would have had to create himself, but that just doesn't make any sense, right? That's just self-refuting. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, that's something to chew on.